Welcome back to the Post-Purchase Pro Monthly Masterclass. I am so excited to get this thing kicked off today. Dylan, where are you at, my friend? We got to get this thing rolling.
All
There
right.
he is. Look at him. I'm so excited to get this thing kicked off today, Dylan. We have tons of great speakers. Guys, before we jump in too far, though, please let me know if you can hear me. Shoot me a message in the chat box. I already sent you guys a couple of messages. Dylan, so give me the audio visual check, and then we can get this thing officially kicked off.
All right. You're doing good.
So audio's good, visuals coming through.
It's all coming through. I get yes, fine. Hey guys from Alex.
Amazing. All right, so let's
Hey
go
Alex.
ahead and jump into it. All righty. So as you know, every month we're bringing you the best of the best entrepreneurs, the best experts from around the industry. Today is no different to share the best strategies for growth on and off of Amazon. So if you like what you have been learning over the last several months, or if you're new here, then you definitely want to check out the replays. So we have tons of past master classes and full of great strategies for your Amazon business, for your e-commerce business to broaden your horizons. You can check out all the replays that we've ever done at postpurchasepro.com/MC. You can see that URL at the bottom of your screen now. Dylan, if you don't mind, grab the hyperlink and paste that into the chat box for everybody. Go ahead and bookmark that so then you can make sure you don't miss any of the replays every month. There's also a link on this page to where you can register for the upcoming masterclasses. You can see that blue hyperlink there. So every month, we will be inviting you to come, but you can always register here. So Dylan, go ahead and drop that in whenever you get that. Today, as always, there's going to be 2 to 5 guest speakers. We're going to have presentations for between 20 and 45 minutes, depending on Q&A. So the topics are going to be around Amazon and e-commerce or some type of entrepreneurial venture typically, and it's typically going to be around growing your Amazon business, which is a lot of fun. Sometimes, though, we need to get you outside of your box and stuck or outside of being stuck in a traditional thinking pattern. So we'll bring on something completely different to rock your world, I hope. Today, as always, I wanted to remind you that the reason we are doing this is to help you only. We're not getting paid. We never accept any affiliate commissions. We never accept any form of bribery, as Dylan might call it. We're not allowing people to jump in here simply because they have the money to do so. We're bringing them because we think they're going to add value. If you are not in one of our WhatsApp groups yet, then please go ahead and join that. We drop hacks and strategies and announcements in there. So you can do that at joinprivategroup.com. Dylan, grab that hyperlink again. The join private group will not hyperlink, so I have to grab the direct WhatsApp group link, or you can scan that QR code. And then, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the agenda for today. Today's agenda, we have 4 amazing speakers. We have Vadim, the founder and CEO of Zon Photo. We have Mark, the CEO of Sellervue, coming up. We have Dorian, the founder and CEO of Keplo, and we have Niha, the co-founder of Adam 11. Guys, it's going to be great, great, great content today. Great strategies to help you grow your business. So first and foremost, I want to welcome Vadim, the founder and CEO of Zon Photo. So Vadim, go ahead and turn your camera on and let's jump straight into the content strategy that you wanted to share today.
Hey guys, thanks for introduction. And yeah, I'm really stoked to find out about all these master classes and what value that people can get from this. So amazing to everyone who actually joins and follows this this podcast. Really, really good stuff.
Absolutely. So Vadim, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing now, and I'll allow you to share any strategies through slides or a screen share that you want. So you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to make sure that you have the ability. So you should be able to do that. You can go ahead and get that pulled up. And Vadim, from here, I'll let you take it away and share it with everyone what you have. Okay.
Sure, guys. So yeah, I brought lots of value in terms of image optimization. And we all know that images are really important on Amazon. I know I don't have much time. I have about half an hour to cover like really cool stuff that I want to bring. So I'll be moving forward fast with the slides. And yeah, let me start by introducing myself. So in 2017, I was selling on Amazon myself. I sold my brand in 2019. Since then, I created Zone Photo and dedicated my entire time to building an agency around image optimization. So now, 5 years forward, we have done over 500 listings, over 300 premium plus. We've done videos. We've got international team in 15, sorry, not 15, but across 4 countries. And we are based in Latvia. This is why I have this weird accent in English. I hope that's not going to be a trouble understanding the content and getting value out of that. So moving forward, I've been a speaker, featured speaker in all these events over the 5 years, always been trying to give my best in terms of value because I was selling on Amazon myself. I really understand, the value of information. One thing from this presentation, then it's about finding your uniqueness and standing out in the crowded marketplace. So speaking about Amazon images, we all know that we only have actually 5 slots to tell a story about your product, to sell your product. We have 7, we can upload more images, of course, but they are hidden, like you can't see them. And if you add video, that also reduces the amount of images shown. So in fact, you only have 5 images, and I want you to think about it as your real estate to really that you need to maximize. This is what you can do. Like this is all what we have. Of course, there's premium and plus as well and other content, but think about it. It's just 5 slots. So how important is that? How to make most out of these 5 slots? This is what this presentation will be about. So when we started doing Amazon images and I looked at how others were working, and these are 3 common terms that everyone is familiar about. And I'm sure you have heard about main image, feature image, and lifestyle image. And the strategies that we have seen around have been actually built around these. You need to have feature image, you need to have lifestyle image, just different strategies. And I just want to show where it's coming from, actually, why we have been presented this. If you ever wondered, it's actually coming from the photography world, because the way they shoot products, they go in a studio and they have this white background. So you get a bunch of images on white background. Then photographer, if you ask him, can you do something more like go out and shoot the product? They will call it as a lifestyle shoot because they go out, they go in a live location, they shoot it outside. And then obviously for selling online, it's important to add some graphics, infographics. So they start taking these images that they add graphics, and that's where this feature image comes in, like, or infographic, how other people calling it. And this comes down to only having 3 options that you have. But I want you to think outside of this box. So these are the only options that people think, and they say, okay, your first feature image should be customer concern 1, then other will be customer concern 2. There are different strategies I've seen across different courses. Some say you need happy smiling models for sure, 3D renders and things like that. If I was performing live, I would be like really glad. And maybe if anyone watching this knows like a killer strategy that always works, like post it in comments, share it, so I can also find out, maybe you can help other people. But what we found, basically, we checking these 3 types away. And that's what I want to do today. I want to bend your mind. I want to open your mind to what else you can do on Amazon. And it's not just about 3 image types. Actually, when you start talking about what is the main message of the image, you start thinking not from photography standpoint, but from marketing. You get so many more options. And this is what we were doing. We were just simply asking this question. And we got to about 100 image types. In 5 years, we basically sorted the image, the possibilities that you can have, and we gathered them in this book, which I wanted to present here, and also as a special gift to everyone joining and giving value away to everyone. Again, this is for free. you can simply download it following this link, and it all gonna make sense very soon. So these are all the types. If you download this book, you will see that there are these image types that you can have. We categorize them in 15 different categories. And what we found that most sellers use only half of these. And we move them like on the right side. It's like a very well structured book. So actually what everyone else is using is on the right side, but very rarely we see people actually Hey guys, I hope it kind of got disconnected, but I hope I'm back. So the first category is plain photos, where we don't have any written context. So this is the main thing, that there is no text
Hey,
on the,
Can you
yeah,
reshare your screen? It doesn't look like it's showing up right now.
sure, let's try.
And then I got a question from Mark. He wanted to see if you could show the QR code again really quick, if that's not too big of a trouble. If not,
Yeah, you
there
can
we go.
see.
Sweet.
Yeah, if you
Thank you.
get it now, you can kind of follow it through. That's fine. There
I'll
will be a
also
QR.
scan it really quick and drop the link in the chat too, in case anybody else that doesn't catch it.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I can do that while you're presenting.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. Okay, sure.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. So yeah, the first category I said there were images with no written context. This is how they look like. And this is a waste in terms of marketing. If you read marketing books and what works, what doesn't work. So the image without written context is kind of waste. You can do more by adding text, you're adding more emotion, and you directing. You basically, it's like a CTA for people as well, and something like if you just show your plain image, some different people will notice different things, but you want them to think specific thing. This is why you're showing. So adding context really helps to direct that attention to what you want them to kind of notice and be aware of. So that's why I would suggest right away, like if you have images without written context, and this is how we work, we would not recommend that. So the next category, and this is like if you would be following up and thinking outside, okay, what can I do for my product? Usually you would start with the features. And so there are feature-based images, and we categorize them like feature lifestyle, 2 features. So anything above 2 features, we call it overviews. And what's the thing about overviews is that it kind of tells a lot of things and none of the things really stand out. So really what we recommend, if possible, use only 1 message or 2 messages, 2 features per image. Overview gives just a general idea that you have a lot of features or things to offer, but it doesn't ever give a specific, like it puts a highlight on specific feature. Moving forward, there are different instructional images. Again, these are based from what is this message about. It's not just about, is it infographic lifestyle, what you're showing. It's actually about what this message is about. So we found these images always repeat. And there's like things like how to use, how it works, how it feels, what's included, dimensions. I'm sure you've seen images like that on on Amazon. And we just categorize them as instructional because they're not really selling your product. They're just explaining some concept. Then there are images to reduce returns, compatibility, size charts, things like that. The image on top was actually my product on Amazon when I was selling it, and it really helped to improve rating and go from 4 stars to 4.5 just by having this one image I explained, and I avoided people buying it and product not fitting their cabinets. So you can also, sometimes you need to add these images to improve your ratings or avoid negative reviews. Then there are benefit-based images like benefit list, benefit collage, sometimes ingredients and benefits of those ingredients if you are in supplements and things like that. And yeah, so these are benefit-based. And then there are lifestyle images. So how these are different from the ones I showed before. I said, please avoid lifestyle images without written context. As a minimum, what we want to add is a logo. So there's, if I would just use a lifestyle, at least add a logo, because you're creating emotion with that image, and we want to direct that emotion to your brand. You don't want this emotion to disappear. You want to like keep attention on the things that you want to highlight. So there are lifestyle collages, there are brand lifestyles and things like that. So this is another section. And then there are pain points, before, after, problem, solution, things like that. Not gonna talk much about this. And that's it. So actually, if you would notice, if you would analyze maybe your niche, you would find that most images that people use, they would be covered in this part. And if you follow through and if you decide, okay, what images can I have? Like if you have a new product launch or, you know, and you're thinking what kind of images should I have? Probably this one section would be enough to cover all the slots. And this is what most people would stop at. They would stop here. But I want you to think further. What else can you do? I want you to bring to another side where you start actually improving your images, optimizing the messages. So let's look at the other part, which is selling images. And we have this rule of thumb that you need to include at least 2 of these in the first 6 images on Amazon to improve your sales. So let's have a look. What can you do? So the first one, and it's probably very common, you've seen this before, is diminishing competitors. So these are more aggressive images. They kind of helping customers to choose the products. These are recommended in specific niches where all products look alike, where it's really hard for customers to choose. For example, now I had a client who is selling filters, just a replacement filter, and all the filters are the same. They are all third-party sellers, and it's just hard to differentiate. So when you do a competitor chart like that, it really helps. You also can compare not to others, but other type of products, making your product look superior, compare just specific feature or things like that. So this is one strategy, good for competitive markets, and avoid definitely. The thing is about these image types, you want to stand out in the market. So don't use the images that everyone else is using. Don't copy bestsellers and do exactly the same what they're doing. So I would just like think, and we're gonna get to that part of choosing the right ones. Now what we're actually doing, I want you to show you what's possible. There are about 100 types of images that you can have. Bear in mind, you only need to choose 5 to sell your product. So you need to really be picky on what images you choose. The next one is reasoning. We call it reasoning because you are giving reasons to buy your product. It's not explaining the feature. It's giving the reason why to buy. And these are images like unique selling points, showing statistics, results, why choose us, price justification. Like for this guy, he was you get the most bags for the buck. So yeah, these are just really like focusing on why to buy our product. And then there are adding value, like different ebooks, bonus items, video guides, clear instructions. If you have improved anything or you want to kind of appear as a superior product, you can add these. Social proof is a big section. So apart from just having reviews on Amazon, which is already a social proof, and already that you are selling on Amazon, that your product is listed there, gives this social proof, because Amazon invests billions of dollars on building that trust. But apart from that, you can also add these social proofs by emphasizing other things. You can appear as a brand outside of Amazon, already established, or you can highlight as seen on or recommended by, or you can share some UGC pictures, and so on. So there are lots of, this is a big category that you can also add. And another thing is brand awareness. Like if you really, that's what you truly believe in, that you need to have a brand to stand out. And this is how you add value to your products. You can sell products at higher prices if you build brand. It's a whole big topic, but these are images that can support that message, that can support your brands. And then there are promo images. Some tips here on Prime Day. I was just using this image here, like the top left, and I didn't have a Prime Day deal or anything, but I had this as my second image, and this is how I was boosting myself on Prime Days. You can do different sales, specific sales for specific days. You can have these images up for 2-3 days, and have the whole images done for the year. So yeah, these are just different cross promotions. Also, if you add both, you can also promote bundles, add both to cart, things like that. So these are more salesy images, pushing people to buy more. And then there are gifting images. Gifts also kind of increase the value. It's in some niches, so it depends on the niche, but you can either focus on packaging or focus on someone receiving a gift. And that's it. That's basically the part to complete. This was very quick run through, and you can kind of blend these together. I'm not saying that these are all the options. There are lots of options, but you can mix brand image with social proof, for example. Create your own. You can divide the image in half. Have one half about, I don't know, feature, other maybe results, right? So you can combine this.
Hey, we had a couple Q&A
Sure.
questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So from Mark, he asked if these slides that you have here are going to be available in the ebook, or is there a way that they could get access to your slides?
Slides, yeah, I can share them, actually create a separate link, but all these images and more, I would recommend downloading the book, because in the slides, you only see fraction of those image types. So in the book, there's everything.
Gotcha.
And there's also SOPs and recommendations for specific types, what you need to do. So yeah.
And then we had another question about how you curate images of this type, like how you curate these type of images.
Curate, like how we create them, or
Yeah, I think it's in reference to the lifestyle, but also like where you get the images from that you're creating. I understand that you guys would be designing a lot of those in-house and taking those photos
right.
yourself.
Right. Yeah, we do photography, we do design. Yeah, these all images that you're gonna have in a book are all from our work that we've done over the 5 years.
And then the
Mhm.
last question that I had was from Cedric, and he said, "What about the main images? There are less and less images with there are less and less main images with white backgrounds on Amazon." And they were referencing like how you were saying to add text to the images.
Okay, add text definitely on not on the main image. You can risk and try, but yeah, I'm speaking about those 5 secondary images. Main image is like a separate topic. You can optimize it. There are different strategies, and I would like to share all this, but we don't have that much time to cover main image like as a separate topic. It's just really separate topic. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, sorry, one more question from Mark before you continue. They have a lot of customers posting on social media when using their products. Could they use some of those as those images for social proof, or should they ask permission from the customers first?
Yeah, sure. I think, yeah, it would be nice if you ask. By law, you are obliged to ask. But I mean, even if you post, they are publicly available. You need to have a reference. Where did you take this? And I think according to the law, I'm not like a law attorney to really advise, but what I know, what I heard, if you put a reference, where did you take this? And this reference is publicly available on internet, it should be fine.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, sure. So yeah, moving forward to the next part. We covered all the image types. Okay, what do you do now from there? So you might now have all these 9 images covered, and now you have more images that I just introduced, and now you don't know what to do because you might have about 15 images that you can now use for your product. So the thing is, how do you get to the core? How you choose out of all the options that you can have the images that actually gonna work. And to do that, we do very detailed research, and I will explain in a little bit how it all comes together. First, we look at your brand and product. Just really getting down to who you are, you need to understand all your features. Also your personality, brand personality, certificates, warranties is a big one where you can also, many sellers forget to mention that in their images. Anything that's unique about you, you really need to put it down on the paper. The best is if you just keep writing everything about your product until you run out of things to tell and say about your product. And then you have a whole list and you have lots of options to choose from. Now that you understand your product, the next part is to understand target audience. So what's actually important? And it's important that the features that you outline is actually the dream outcome of what your target audience is looking for. That the benefits that you highlight also resonate with the likes and wants of the customers. So these all have to be aligned. So yeah, you need to filter core images based on audience desires. And to find out what the audience desires is, we use this currently in 2024, using also the latest technologies that we are available. We're using this framework, which I'm going to explain. So the first, where you can find out about your audience is actually in your seller central account. If you're a registered brand, there is information available in your brand analytics and product opportunity explorer section. So if you just go to the section, I think it's brand analytics, demographics, you can filter by quarter, year, and it's Amazon actually going to give you information about percentage of females, males, are they, what's their education, are they married or single people, which is really, really good information that you can already get in your Amazon account. And the other thing you can do, Product Opportunity Explorer. Basically, this is analyzing reviews, positive review snippets, negative review snippets. This is how this is called, and you can check these out for any product on Amazon if you just go to Growth Product Opportunity Explorer. And that's going to give you an idea about these likes and dislikes of the target audience in the whole niche. Then we use Shulex. At the moment, it's $100 per month. For agencies as us, it's okay because we use it almost on daily basis. For those just signing up, there is a little incentive. You can use 20% off if you sign up with this code. But what Shulex does is new technologies came in. AI is big now. And what you can do, one of the big things that AI had impact on is review analysis. What people were doing manually before using Excel spreadsheets, now actually you can do in seconds. You can just click with a few clicks, you get the whole report, sentiment analysis, likes, dislikes, purchase motivation, usage scenarios taken from the from the reviews. And using this tool, you can not only analyze your own product, but you can analyze the whole niche. you can import the whole list of your competitors, and it's going to summarize the reviews of all your niche, which is really amazing. You can get a good understanding of what the audience on Amazon is in this niche, what they want, what they like, what they dislike, and other things. And another thing that I really recommend doing anyone, what I actually did also, I talked to the guys from Product Opinion. Everyone knows about Pickful, but not many people know about Product Opinion. And this is our preferred partner for A/B testing, and not only. So what we do here, they have this really, really cool feature. And if you sign up through this link, they will add you 20 free opinion videos. So just by signing up for a 2-week free trial, you will be given these 20 free videos. So anyone, like, I can't emphasize how great this opportunity is. So what it does is actually, it gives you people with Prime membership, US based, they will be looking at your listing and recording their screen. They are given 5 minutes and they can answer any questions that you have. So to really understand your target audience or how people looking at your listing, this is a massive thing, massive step that you can do. Use 20 videos, get opinion of 20 people, and you will see they will tell you what to improve, what's not clear, what they like about your listing, what they don't like. So really good insights you can get from here, because we're looking at our listings on daily basis. We just don't know. When we ask someone else and they have a fresh look, they can notice lots of things. So this could be a good update. So once you know your target audience, like once you found out through that framework that I showed, you defined your target audience needs. Now you can link them to those features, benefits, all the things that you wrote about your product. So now you start cherry picking. Actually, oh, maybe this feature I wanted to highlight before, but actually it's not that important. People want to other thing. And this is how you start cherry picking. You're not thinking yourself. You base it on actually data, what you get from this target audience research. And everything would be good and it would be working well, but there's this thing that we have competition, and competitors are actually doing exactly the same thing. They are trying to guess target audience desires, wants. They have different strategies to connect, to position their products above. And unfortunately, the only way to beat that, you need to find your uniqueness. And this is where I come to the very beginning of the conference, or not conference, but this call. My message, the main message is think about your uniqueness. And I hope I can find a way for you. I will give you a framework that by following this checklist, you can find what's your uniqueness. So we created this list of possible unique selling points where you can stand out. And most sellers would think about this list. This is by improving feature, like how can you stand out in the market? You would improve feature, you would bundle it with something else, you would add this ebook, you would have the certification, you could offer higher warranty and things like that. So it's good if you have done this, and it's great. But what else can you do? Many sellers don't know what else they can do, what else they can offer. So I want to open your eyes a little bit on marketing world. So there's a book by I think Marty Neumayr, Brand Flip. This is like father of branding, and he made a list of 25 intangibles that add value. So beyond your unique selling points, intangible features, bundles, and things you're trying to add, you can also add these emotional values. So you can offer more clarity, more hope, more guidance, more inclusiveness, and things like that. And this could be also the core values that you're trying to portray through your images. It's not just about features, benefits. It's about the meaning behind this. And this is what he talks about in his book, that it has flipped now. It's not about the products anymore. It's about the meaning behind them and how this meaning connects the target audience, how people associating their lives with, through these things, authenticity, optimism, safety, with the products that they buy. Another thing to stand out, and there is a great book that changed the marketing world in 2002, The Hero and the Outlaw, the theory about brand archetypes, which speaks if you have a specific, like very distinct brand personality that falls into one of these archetypes, which is based on basic human desires that moves us forward. Again, this is through centuries. It came from Plato, thinking about what drives people, what's the behind things that we do in our lives, what's the motivation. He came to a conclusion that there are some ideas behind, and these are like power, love, enjoyment, belonging, things like that. And then eventually this came into marketing in 2002, where we know that if you base your marketing on these specific powerful values, universal values, and you're going to make it distinct, you're going to succeed more as a brand. So this is another way to position and differentiate yourself beyond just being offering features, benefits, improving products. Have a clear, very distinct brand personality. This is what we also help our clients to do. Another thing you can do is brand positioning. There's another book, and that's been what people did for years before Amazon even started, is they were drawing these two graphs. It's a really cool trick that you can do. For example, for one of our clients, we put his competitors here. So we put handmade and price. So the most pricey and handmade were on top. We wanted to make emphasis that our product will be handmade as well. And when you position it like this, they're all very close together. So it's going to be hard. You're going to be competing with the other guy in the same quadrant. And what you want to do is you want to isolate your product. So what you do, this is very simple trick. You take one of these things on the left, you add them on top, for example, safety, sustainability, and again, you arrange your competitors and yourself and see how it looks like. So when we did that for this client, we found that actually we are the most safe and most sustainable product on Amazon. No one else was in that quadrant. And once you find an empty quadrant, this is opportunity. This is what marketers have been doing for years. They've been trying to find where is like a gap in the market where they can fit their product and pitch. Then they try to understand what is the target audience in that quadrant, what they want to hear, and you start advertising to them. Yeah, so we talked about this, and this is the thing what I wanted to do is just tick the boxes which images you have if you have this book, and then you need to move them. Basically, some of those you need to improve, optimize, and move, like have a mix of both. So how can you improve the images that you currently have? So for example, you have this product on white background. You decided you're going to have a feature image, fast boiling time under 1 minute. Great. But what else can you do? When you start moving to the other section of selling images, you can actually make it more selling. So what we did here, we created USP. We called this feature instant boil, and we technology, and we put this TM trademark, like it's trademarked, and we put 5 stars. We added even a social proof. So we optimized this feature image into something unique. That's like, oh, like we're putting a spotlight on that. But this is where we are unique. Let's look at another example, what you can do. For example, here's feature overview. What I said before, you have lots of features, gives good impression. You can break it into 2 images, which would be much better. One would be focusing on cordless, really clear, you can understand in 2 seconds. And the other one highlighting this 2-year warranty. Much, much better way to position these images. Another option, product on white. You have feature overview. What else can you do with feature overview? How can you make it better? Just add the title, why us? And suddenly these features, they're not just features, but you're giving a reason, like these become reasons why to buy your product. Another option, you have lifestyle image that I said, don't use just plain images, at least add a logo. But what else can you do beyond that? Can you move? Can you do, because you have a limited real estate. You really need to optimize the best of each image. So you can turn it into brand image. You add 2-year warranty and a description about your values, about your brand, and how you make, how you're gonna make, what's your mission basically, how you improve people's lives. And sometimes you can even optimize the already optimized images. For example, in here, you have this lifestyle image. It's a good brand image. It has a purpose, but maybe you can try another message. What about if you said 1 million cattle sold? Another brand message. So here you start playing around with these images in the other categories. And in the end, you have to mix both. You can't have all selling images. If you're going to have all selling images, then you're going to be too salesy. It's going to be too much pushy, too pushy. Like it's really like hard selling. You want it to be kind of subtle. So it depends how salesy you want to be, how salesy you want to appear as a brand. But at least have 2 images in your first 6. This is a rule of thumb that we stick to in our agency. And if someone asks you what's special about your product, don't be that guy. Don't say nothing special. Now I've covered you so many options that you can think outside of the box. What else can you, where is this uniqueness? Where is my uniqueness? And this is the case study that we had with client. I just want to finish up on that. He came to us. He said, there is nothing special about my product. It's exactly the same what my competitors selling. Can you just do a better job? So what we did, we turned these basic features into something amazing that it looked like this is superior product. Like on the second image, to the features, we added the title, why choose this brand? So again, we added the reasons. We created the turned features into reasons why to buy this product. The next one, CRI 80 plus, and we have a small comparison on the left, which shows other brands and our brand. It's not necessarily true, but there are definitely brands that are worse, that have lower CRI. So we're not really lying as well. The next one, 84% more saving. It's saving you money, but we're not comparing with the same bulb from our competitors, direct competitors. We're comparing it in a small print. We have written to the 39-watt bulb. But all these messages create an illusion that it's a much better product. So this is a really good example of how you can turn how your existing features, if you think they are not special, you can turn them into special things with marketing. Find your uniqueness. And yeah, hope this was really helpful for you. Thank you for your attention.
That was awesome. I can tell
Right.
that everybody liked it because we were getting comments in the chat talking about how they love the presentation.
Right. I was just rushing through the slides. I hope it wasn't too quick, but yeah.
No, I appreciate it. Marcia's saying that was an amazing presentation. Thank you. Oscar said he was impressed by the presentation. So, I mean, awesome job. I really appreciate it. You covered a lot of things that I think are important to think of when you're going about creating these images. We shouldn't just list the features and instead find another reason, like you were illustrating on, like, you know,
Exactly.
a different way to present it.
Totally, yeah.
Mark said, yes, thank you so much. Heard dozens of trainings on images, and this was the best ever. And Marcia said, thinking outside the box, learned so much. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Vadims. And if you want to get in touch with Vadims and Zonphoto, do you have an email that everybody could reach out to if they wanted to reach out to you and your team?
Sure. It's just info@zonphoto.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn. I know it's gonna be hard. I should have put a link up, but yeah, Vadim Petrov. It's hard name to spell. But yeah, if you just go on zonphoto.com and go to contact section, there is actually a link it says have a call with CEO or something like that, and you can connect with me as well, book a call. Yeah, I'll be happy to help, just to share. Also, I can have a look at your listing, and maybe just having conversation would already be also eye-opening for you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Yes.
much. We really
Okay,
appreciate it. And Dorian, you are up. You
right.
there with us?
Yeah,
Bye,
yeah.
guys.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, Dorian.
Awesome. Hi, Dylan. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. How about yourself?
Good, good. Yeah, I was looking forward all day to do this webinar. It's the first one for Keplo, so
Yeah.
it should be interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm interested in you introducing this. I know we had covered it a bit before, but really interested in you diving into Keplo and showing everyone here what you guys have.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll do. Hi, everyone. Yeah, let me just pull up the presentation. Let me just share my screen, and we're gonna dive into it, straight into it.
Sweet.
Okay. 1 second. Let me just go back to the first slide. Okay, cool. We good?
Take it away. You're good. You're good on audio and visuals.
All right, awesome. Let me just. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Dorian Gorski, and I am the founder of Keplo. So huge thank you to Purchase Pro for obviously inviting me to this incredible webinar. So what I want to talk to you about today is why being an innovator really matters these days. So especially in this area of AI. So all about product and brand design with AI. And I want to start with 1 second. I want to start with this quote. It's very easy to be different, but very difficult to be better. So today we embark on a journey through. It's a revolution in, I think, in brand and product design. So I hope this will ignite your thinking with some, especially with this profound quote. And this quote comes from John Ivey from Apple Inc. You might recognize this guy. So a little bit about me. So I've been in this Amazon space for 11 years. I had the privilege of shaping, I think, over 3,000 products and hundreds of brands. So I've come to a pivotal realization that being different is not actually the ultimate goal. To truly achieve a long-term success, you have to constantly innovate. And the most successful brands I've personally worked with have a common thread. They're born from a profound understanding of their customer needs and relentless quest to challenge the status quo. So you might know this guy, James Dyson. He actually created 5,127 prototypes, and he transformed obviously the vacuum cleaner industry. And his relentless pursuit of innovation is a beacon for all of us. And there's one more person that I'm really fan of, which is Sarah Blakely, and her story is also quite interesting. With no formal training in design or fashion, she reimagined the industry of pantyhose, giving birth to Spanx, and her journey specifically for me is a testament to innovation born from necessity and just a sheer will. So as a brand owner, I think it's important to shift the mindset in order to be successful. And the question you should ask yourself is not how well I'm managing my business, but what is it that I'm actually creating? And Keplo is here to actually help. And there's AI makes innovation more accessible than ever right now. Even if creativity isn't your forte, AI can be your dynamic co-pilot. It can be your help, and it can be your creative assistant. So let me introduce you quickly to Keplo New Workflow. And this is basically 9 transformative steps from defining objectives to deploying innovations, because there is no brand without a product, and there's no strong brand without an innovative product. So Keplo project framework is pretty simple. Starts with objective, discovery, defining, ideating, designing, prototyping, testing, refining, and finally deploying. But today I really want to talk about these three core points, which is discovering, defining, and ideating. And I think you've already in the previous presentation already talked about some of those. So obviously discovering, the first one is discover. So it's about understanding your customers through real data, not assumptions. So, and that's where AI really comes through, because it excels in gathering and organizing vast amounts of information, as demonstrated here by Keplo. So where you will be able to know who's your end user and how do they actually use the product. And the next step is to define, to identify these essential product features and customer needs. So in order to seek innovation, so not just mere differentiation, but strive to be better in every single aspect. So once you know this, and the next step is really to ideate. AI's fearlessness and unbiased imagination can really spark ideas beyond your wildest dreams. We all know sometimes, most of us use AI, and sometimes it gives you ridiculous ideas, but it gives you loads of them. So I always said to my team, give me 1,000 bad ideas, I'll find one good one in there. So this is where AI really helps. And I think even if you're not creative, I think creativity is a muscle that grows stronger with use. So I want to show you one quick slide. And AI isn't here to replace us. It's here to advance those who embrace it, for me. And we're living in a time of really rapid innovation, a time where not utilizing AI isn't just a missed opportunity. It's a step towards obsolescence. So in order for us to stay ahead, to be a leader rather than a follower, we have to integrate AI workflows. We have to integrate AI tools into our businesses. It's no longer a luxury. Right now, it's a necessity to be ahead of everyone, to basically innovate. So Keplo is really this type of a new workflow that currently beta phase. And it's not just another AI tool. It's a comprehensive suite designed to empower and inspire you. And our goal with Keplo is really to equip you with the knowledge and the power to create products and brands that don't just exist, but thrive, and they disrupt your category. Products that really stand the test of time. And I'll give you some examples. So let's take this one, just a quick case study. So if I'm, my brand and my product is, let's say, a bike helmet, and I can see that the main usage pattern is work commuting, and the biggest con and dislike by the customers is the low visibility at night. Keplo will actually provide you with tangible product enhancements through loads of LLM models that have been trained with industrial designers and product designers, and it will give you really in-depth ideas. So how do I actually improve this? I will give you 10 ideas. And so what you can do with these 10 ideas, for example, then you can quickly ideate. Use these quickly to mock up, tens or even hundreds of ideas before reaching the prototype stage, or before talking to your manufacturer. You can quickly come up with ideas. And most importantly, remember that's all grounded in real data. So there's no opinions. There's no talking to some friends or wives or husbands, and they giving you opinion. It's based on real and loads of data. Another example here for this neck wallet, the end user is a father, and it's the biggest feature that people like. It's the fact that it's easy to hide, and customers love that the wallet can be hidden underneath clothing. So what Keplo will do is it will actually create the content plan for you together with the compelling copy. We've trained Keplo with our team of copywriters to really translate those features into benefits, and to really create a content plan for images that really, lets creates this really highly converting content. So, and for example here, this is the kind of image that Keplo realized you would need for your listing: discreet and safe, secure your belongings on the go. And we have, someone over 50 hiding the wallet. And here's an interesting case study, and that probably is one of my favorite ones. Look at the reviewer profile. So Kepler will tell you who's reviewing the product. And in this case, it's a gold necklace, but most people that reviewing it is actually males. But it will also highlight that the end user that has been mentioned is the wife. So you might guess who's buying this product. It's usually, husbands, probably as gifts. So Kepler will tell you things like, you need to improve your packaging because it's a giftable item. Or give you a content suggestion to create content specifically for this type of product, that really speaks to the buyer in this case. And the buyer is the husband, it's not the wife. So that's a pretty cool case study. So for me, it's all about staying curious and embracing your inner designer. Value ideas, leverage AI, and combine it with emotional intelligence and data. And really, to make innovation your habit, the more ideas you have, the better. The better, and they cost you nothing. Ideas are really cheap these days, especially with AI. And that's also in Keplo. We've introduced Keplo dev books, where instead of having loads of spreadsheets, loads of notebooks, or loads of messages here and there, all the ideas you have during the research, you can quickly put them in Keplo inside whilst you're doing research. And then you can share it with your team, you can share it with the manufacturer, and everything is one place. You can drop in your videos, you can drop in Pinterest boards. So it's not just about keeping up, it's about leading the way in innovation. So for me, what I really want everyone to get out of this and this webinar is to start with curiosity. And I think we are all designers and ideas are cheap. Keplo is powered by AI, and it should be it's also fueled by data, but it should be fueled by your emotional intelligence. It should be, by your decisions. Because at the end of it is your brand, is your product. And most importantly, I really urge everyone to make this your habit, to keep using those tools, to innovate, and to be more creative than ever. Because remember, AI right now, it's available for everyone. And we are in the times where innovation is just going to increase rapidly, massively. Ideas are cheap. So use it, because if you won't use it, and if you won't come up with those ideas, and if you won't move quickly, all your competitors will. So, everyone's saying AI will not replace humans, but it will replace those that are not using AI. So, and most importantly, innovate and innovate. Just like, for example, John Ivey, Steve Jobs, or even, Elon Musk, all these people that we cherish and we think, these are the people that we look up to. They have one thing in common: they innovated, right? So it's not about making something different; it's about making something better. So time is the currency of inventors, in my opinion. So investing time in innovation means really dedicating hours to brainstorming, designing, testing, and iterating. And I think for me, I think it's most of the fun job as being a brand owner, being an e-commerce seller, is that creative aspects of building your brand and product, rather than looking at your PPC numbers, or how to lower my tackles, or managing people, or dealing with shipment delays. The most important and the most fun thing is building your product and building your brand. So it's about prioritizing that creative thinking, building that muscle. And even if you don't have that muscle, use AI now. So that's pretty much all from me. It was I think it was a quick one and to the point. You can add me on LinkedIn, Dorian Gorski. When it comes to Keplo, we're currently in beta stages, so you can go to keplo.com and sign up for beta. And we should be launching very soon. I think in a month or so. But beta is available for anyone that's interested. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So if they're wanting to get access to the beta, do they just need to reach out to your team and you can get them using that?
The only thing is I'm going to drop a link here in the chat.
Okay.
Pretty simple, keplo.com. And if you go on the main page, scroll all the way down, just drop your email and I'll add you to our beta. Or you can email me directly. I'm going to drop my email also here. You can email me directly and I'll add you to our beta.
All right. I just sent that out to everyone. Thank you so much. I think between the first presentation and what you covered, Dorian, they really go together very well, and it just reinforces like, hey, your tool can make it so much easier to do what Vadim's was talking about that you need to start doing on your listings. So I think those two work together really well.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, this will definitely help you with the creative process. And I think Vadim was using some other tools also. There's a lot of tools available out there. But the bottom line is you have to start using those tools, get it familiar with it, and because it'll help you to move quicker with your business.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Mark, are you ready?
Thanks,
I'm
everyone.
ready. I'm ready. How are you?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm great. Great. Let me just share my screen now.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Can you see my screen?
I can. You're good on audio and good on visuals.
Okay, awesome. How's everyone doing today? So today, I'm going to talk about how to profitably grow and scale your Amazon business in 2024, regardless of any new fee hikes. So I'm sure you've seen all, the hype about the new fee starting in April, and it's not all, grim news. Actually, some of the fees have gone down, but ultimately, what we want to do is, we want to keep as much money as possible so that we can either pay ourselves or we can reinvest in our business. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I know it's a big promise, but I can tell you that it's absolutely true. So this is for you if you're selling any type of physical products online. So being profitable, it's a struggle. You're either struggling with data accuracy, you're either struggling with getting timely data, or you're struggling to analyze that data. And I don't know about you, but when I first started selling on Amazon, I really didn't even think about this too much. I was so focused on, finding my product, finding my supplier, getting it to Amazon, kind of doing what, Dorian and, Vlad were talking about, is getting the listings, getting the images up. And when the money started coming in, then I started realizing, like, wait a minute, like, how much am I actually keeping out of all of this? And going through those processes over the years and just being as profitable as possible in order to grow that business as as quickly as possible. So if any of that sounds like that struggle is really not your fault. Running a successful, profitable Amazon business is not easy. So the hard truth about profitable selling is you need to be maxing your margins on every product you sell. You need to be doing the things that we're going to cover today as accurately as possible. So when I started my Amazon business, I took a different approach to creating predictable profit margins, and what we'll kind of cover today. But the simple fact is, if you keep doing what you're doing, you keep losing out on the profits that really should be yours. They shouldn't go to Amazon, they shouldn't go to your suppliers, they shouldn't go to the freight forwarders. You should be keeping as much as you can. So the problem that I found is that when we think about all the things to drive revenue, how do we get more revenue? How do we make more sales? But not how to keep more profit of what we sell. Now, it's all very well doing giveaways and repricing and pricing and promotions and discounts and advertising and driving external traffic. Like, those are all super sexy things. But if it's at the cost of profit, that's where we kind of tip the scales a little bit. So what if you were growing and scaling in the wrong order? What if you were able to max your profit margins on every product you sell? And what if you had predictable profits each and every month to grow and scale your business? What would that feel like? So my name is Mark Botha. I'm the founder of Sellervue. And I originally built Sellervue for my own Amazon business. And I did not actually build it for profit margins. I actually built it for something totally different. I would say my passion is actually building and selling Amazon businesses. And when I first sold my Amazon business, one of the things that really didn't prepare myself was the due diligence of selling the business, which is, if you ever sold a business, the complexity of the due diligence, especially when it comes to uncovering your cost of goods sold, uncovering your per unit cost. The buyer wants to know what they're buying, how much they're buying it for, who the suppliers are. And there's just a lot of interchange that goes between that process. And I thought, like, if I could just make this simpler, create a tool where buyers could log in, they could check it all out, and all the information was in there, it would just be way easier than dealing with emails and spreadsheets and PDFs, going back and forth in the questions. But the net result was I actually improved my profit margins because I got a granular view on my cost of goods sold. So I've been selling online since 2013, and I was a chiropractor, actually still a chiropractor, and but I'm now in the e-commerce and Amazon world. And over the last 10 years, I've sold over $30 million. And not to brag here, but I just wanted to put here, so I'm not making things up, but this was the last 2 years. And if there was one missing piece of the profit puzzle I wish I knew earlier, it would really be what we're covering today. So these are my results. So this is the account I sold. This was before, this was after. I was able to recover an extra $78,000, which was 4.25% on the margin. But that $78,000 wasn't just $78,000. When you apply, say, a multiple, in my case was 3.5, that $78,000 turned into $275,000, which I bought myself a free Jeep, quote unquote. So after that, I began testing this with friends who had Amazon businesses and seeing if I had the same kind of outcome. And I did, with some really amazing results. So here we can see like a profit and loss statement of one of these sellers. Is before, this is what the profit margins was. We were able to go through and find ways to minimize, and we found a difference of 3.67%, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that 3%, well, 3.67 actually was about $137,000, and that's just pure profit. That's added back into your P&L. So these little numbers really add up, and they make a big, big difference. So over the last, I think it's 2 years now, we've analyzed over 100 selling accounts and audited about $198 million. And on average, we have found that sellers are missing out on about 4.27% of profit by not doing a few simple profit recovery strategies. So what would be increasing your profit mean to your business? So let's create predictable profit. And here's what we're going to learn today. So when we're looking at scaling in the right order, I always start with profit first, then we optimize, and then we scale. So if we're making as much money as we can, and we know for a fact that our net profit is where it should be, at that point, and then we can optimize. We can optimize our supply chain, we can optimize our listings, we can optimize external traffic, advertising, and then we kind of move into the scaling up, and then we just take that profit and just keep on reinvesting it, or investing into other things. But we know for a fact that we're as profitable as possible. So in order to maximize the profit on every product you sell, you really need to understand this equation. So we're looking at price and costs, fees, ads, and that equals your net product profit. And then you multiply that by the orders, and that's how you're going to get your total product profit. Now, these two is kind of where we live, is in the kind of the cost of goods sold. If we can make sure this is as accurate as possible, we're getting money back as much as we can, and we are reducing costs such as freight or suppliers without sacrificing quality, of course, all that money is going to end back up in that net product profit. So net product profit, again, we got the price, we got the landed costs, selling fees, and advertising costs. Now, the goal in selling is to keep as much profit as possible. You need to understand all these variables that make up that product profit. So price, we're looking at strategic pricing. There's lots of repricing tools or price tests that you can do. But the one thing I would say with these tools is do not test price or use these tools if you're not certain of your costs. And you'll see why in a moment. We've found that, oftentimes we think we, have our costs dialed in and we have a unit cost, but it might not be as accurate as possible. And we end up kind of losing a little bit on the back end. So landed costs. So landed cost is everything from the factory to your warehouse floor, which might be your actual warehouse floor, Amazon's warehouse floor, or 3PL. In other words, it's the cost to get your product landed and ready to be fulfilled. So now we're looking at like a unit cost breakdown. There's factory costs, there could be mold, local transport, bank fees, ocean freight, tariffs, duties, packaging, design, whatever it might be. And we end up with our landed cost here. And then, when we're selling on Amazon, we obviously have our price, we got our, our landed cost, which is up here, then there's selling fees, variable fees, advertising. And then at the end of the day, this is what we're going to make per unit. And this might be our, our profit margin here. But what if we looked at a more of a granular level and go, okay, well, maybe I can negotiate better prices, say with increased order. So my unit cost goes down to $330. And when we're looking at a mold fee, this is usually a one-time fee. So oftentimes, that mold fee just ends up in a balloon on your cost of goods sold on your P&L, where really that mold fee is a one-time fee, and that really should go on your expense side. So it should not really go into your cost per unit. And then, the local transport, oftentimes you can negotiate this into the order. Same with bank fee. I know it's 1 cent, it's not a big deal. But, we find alternative wiring services, especially if you're making multiple wires. And then, tariffs, duties. And all of a sudden, our unit cost is down to $460. So it's a, $159 cost difference. So that profit margin is now increased by, 8.3%. So that's a big deal when we're kind of looking at those granular details and looking at the fees, and then how can we make it better? So just an example, like this is one of my invoices. So I still have an Amazon account. And when we're looking at this invoice, this was from 2022. And, my whole goal for 2023 was how can I keep doing what I'm doing, but get as much profit as possible? So I actually just reached out to the supplier and said, hey, listen, I've been with you for a couple of years. What can we do to make this better? And they came back with, I don't know if you can see, but this is 73 cents. And this went down to 36 cents. So this is 2023. So I halved this invoice, right? So this was this was December of 2022. And, so my, sales was, $592,000. And then this was 2023. And I did $557,000. And you might think, okay, well, it went down a little bit. That's not great. Okay. But my whole goal for 2023 was, how do I max my profits by doing exactly what I did? And how can I improve each metric to make it better? So this was the outcome. So my net profit for 2022 was $175,000 with a profit margin of 30%. But 2023, I did a profit of $185,000, and my profit margin went up to 34%. So that was a net change of 4.44%, which was an increased profit of over $10,000. I did less revenue, but I made more profit. And the way I did that was looking at each metric along here and going, how do I make this better? So when we're looking at like a sales report, is we go down the line here and we think of it like a pie, like the profit pie. It's very difficult to look at numbers here and go, I don't really know how to make that better. But when you're seeing it as a percentage, you can easily identify ways that you can probably trim down a couple percentage points along the way. So, you know, here I went from 18% down to 13%, which was, you know, the biggest difference. Some of the other differences was, you know, in the fulfillment fees, we changed a lot of the products to kind of the small and light fulfillment fee. So that kind of helped with some of those fees. And then the variable fees, we made some changes. So ultimately that kind of increased those margins. So, you know, that's what I was saying in the beginning. Although fees might be going up, there's certainly ways that you can still be highly profitable selling on Amazon. So the biggest mistake we see clients make is saying, oh, my cost is around, you know, $620 a unit, like in that previous example. But what if that cost per unit was actually $460, as it turned out it could be, and you sell 5,000 units a month? That's an $8,000 difference per month. So it's a big, big number. And over 12 months, that's $96,000. So accuracy is very important when in your profitability. So shipping costs also play a vital role in your SKU by SKU profitability. You know, shipping a piano is not the same as shipping a box of matches. So when we're analyzing our costs and assigning shipping costs, we really need to be focused on, you know, the size of the cartons, how much space those cartons take up, and allocating the cost of shipping, and be specific when we're, you know, doing our cost analysis. So the point is having a system that will be able to track these numbers in real time so you can grow and scale profitably. So the goal is to measure to manage profitably, but you cannot measure what you do not know. So Amazon fees. So Amazon fees, you know, we've got referral fees, we've got FBA fees, variable fees, so many fees. And, you know, then we're looking at reimbursement claims. And then there's one of these that you absolutely need to monitor at all times, which we'll get to in a second. But in other words, if you're selling on Amazon, fees are unfortunately unavoidable. So the only thing in certain life are death, and I crossed out taxes because really you can really get a good bookkeeper nowadays and get a good accountant, and you can minimize things. So there are things that you can do, but I always say, you know, there's certain things in life is death and Amazon fees. There's no real way getting away from Amazon fees. We can just hold Amazon accountable on what they're actually charging us. So Amazon referral fees, we got, you know, this is a fee that Amazon charges you it's a percentage base. It's usually 15%. Obviously, it varies based on product category. Can be 8%, can go as high as 45%. There's really no avoiding this one. But again, just making sure you're getting the correct percentage. So the best way that you can do this is you can actually go into Amazon, go down to the fulfillment reports. You can download the fee preview report, and you can just double check that, you know, your percentages are what they should be. And then there's the Amazon FBA fee. So, you know, as a FBA seller, you don't have to pay for shipping or handling or packaging your products. You know, Amazon is doing this for you. And they're, you know, charging this to cover the costs, and your weight, and the way you're charged is determined by your size and the weight of your product. So, you know, consider your transactional fees as the cost to send from FBA to the customer. And then the variable fees. So these are the sneaky fees Amazon adds if you're not careful, and they can start to add up to a significant amount. So these are the usual suspects. We've got the monthly storage fees. We've got the aged inventory surcharge, which is the long-term storage fee. And then we've got the new low inventory fee that's coming in March or in April. And then there's the partner carried fees. So I would think of these as your use of Amazon warehouse fee and the cost of storage at FBA. And I would say this is the fee to monitor the most, because, you know, when you're looking at these fees, they typically aren't assigned to a SKU. It's typically when you're looking at in your Amazon account or, you know, tool, these are balloon numbers. So there might just be a balloon number of, like, you know, $10,000 where they aren't applied to a SKU. But what we really want to do is look at that number and be able to assign those costs to a SKU. And that's what we do at Sellervue, is we're able to assign any fee to any SKU to make sure we can pinpoint where you're losing the most. So in reimbursement claims, obviously Amazon might owe you tons of money through various types of reimbursements. What you can control here is getting charged the correct amount and then reclaiming all the errors. So Amazon reimbursements, typically, 99% of sellers have no idea how much money they're owed and how to claim it back and why their money is missing in the first place. Sometimes we just assume that Amazon's correct, but I think we know that mistakes have been made, and we should go and get what's owed to us. So reimbursement claims, the biggest one is the pick and pack fees, making sure your dimensions and your weights are accurate. And then, again, this can be done in that fulfillment. Go down to fulfillment, check out the reports, check out the preview, you can check your dimensions there. We also have a special tool inside Sellervue that will track this for you and will note any changes that might happen. And then the other one is the FBA inventory reimbursement. This has to do with lost, damage, improperly returned or destroyed, disposed, or overcharged by Amazon for any FBA handling fees. So that's probably the biggest category where you're going to get most of your claims back. So sales report. So this is what we're looking at is where can we make changes and how can we improve? So reimbursements, where are we sitting with reimbursements? Our FBA fulfillment and referral fees, what is the percentage there? Variable fees, what percentage is Amazon taking there? And then how much is our landed cost? And then what we're left with at the end of the day. Okay, and then the other one to look at is the advertising cost. Understanding the exact cost of the advertising per SKU is crucial for driving profitable growth. We call this TACOs, total advertising cost of spend. And, what is each product making per SKU and how can you do better is the question that you really should be asking yourself when you're looking at, if you're looking at your numbers weekly, monthly, or however quick you're looking at them, is how do you make each SKU better? So net product profit. So I know this is a little small, but when we're looking at all the variables that make up our net product profit, from our price to our cost of goods sold, all the little fees that Amazon takes, that results in our net profit. When you understand exactly what makes up this net product profit, you're more likely to identify ways to reduce and find ways to optimize those costs and reduce costs and optimize ad spend. So this is where we look at true and estimate and net profit. So we've worked with a lot of clients, and the typical thing is what you're thinking you're earning per SKU and what the reality is, what you're actually earning per SKU. And the difference can be quite substantial. So this is an example, a couple of examples here of the product, cost of goods sold. They think they're selling that these are the selling fees, those are the referral fees, and they might be thinking that they're earning these particular numbers. But once we go through and categorize all the fees and all the costs, deep dive their cost of goods sold, the reality is, sometimes it's a little bit less. Like this one went from 17% down to 11%. This one 13%, it's actually 7% when we factor in all these variable fees. So in order to scale profitably, you need to understand what the makeup of the cost and fees are. So now that you know exactly how much you're making on each sale, now it's time to optimize your account and drive up that total product profit. By optimizing your account and having these processes in place, you'll be able to scale profitably. So the key to optimizing and fine-tuning your progress is really the key to profitable and sustainable growth is to continually optimize the accounts. So now that we understand profit, we kind of move to optimize. And what I look to optimize is we're looking at a supply chain. We're looking at kind of, what the other two presentations were before is, do we have solid images? Are they making the point? Is our copy great? Are our reviews coming in? Are we getting great customer service? Is our inventory on point? Are we getting stock outs? Are we running out of inventory? What can we do to optimize this flow so that we're getting the profit we want? We are optimizing our account. So now we're ready to scale to drive more profit. And if we kind of follow that circle around, you'll find that profitability really comes easier. So the point is that once you start scaling, that you have a correct processes in place. You're keeping as much money as possible. You aren't running out of inventory. Your listings have the best conversions, and your reviews and customer service is spot on. So imagine scaling this. This is what you think you're earning. You start scaling, you're driving traffic, you're driving external traffic, And the reality is these are your numbers. Now you're just giving money away. So imagine this, the difference from going from this, we find all the ways to add money back into your account. You know, the 11% actually goes up to 17% because we've dialed in our numbers, and we're now profiting more, optimizing and scaling in the correct order. And that's what we do at Sellervue. Our goal is to boost sellers' profit margins by optimizing cost of goods sold through our precise profit recovery strategies and cost per unit calculations. So now that you're maxing your margins on every product you sell and you have a fully optimized account, now you're ready to scale. And when we're looking at this equation, yeah, if you're maxing out this number here, now it's time to scale orders. But you cannot scale orders if you're wasting money in this section here. So how to profitably grow and scale your Amazon e-commerce business. And this is what it ideally would look like. And yeah, it's a little messy equation, but bear with me. So imagine me adding 5% back to our cost of goods sold. This is our costs and our fees. You know, that number is going to show up in our net product profit. And then we're going to take that, we're going to put it in, it's going to show up in our total product profit. And at this point, we can decide, are we going to reinvest into this product, or are we going to maybe add a new product, or are we going to do something else? So, you know, if you're going to reinvest into ads, that money again is going to show back up in orders, which is going to show up in net product profit. And the cycle kind of goes around and goes around and goes around until maybe you decide to, you know, take that money out, reinvest into a new product, or whatever else you want to do to scale your business. So profitable growth strategies, you know, we've got post-purchase follow-ups, which is exactly what, you know, Seth and Sean do, you know, driving that external growth, expanding into marketplaces, you know, maybe reinvesting in new team members or stockpiling cash or whatever it might be. Nothing can go wrong with extra profit. So what would your business look like if instead you weren't stressing about low margins, you weren't worrying about rising costs and fees, or constantly trying the newest, latest marketing hack to drive more sales that really just leads to less profit? What if instead you're growing profitably and you knew it? What would it mean to your business to add 1 or 2 or 5 or 10%? Right? And if that sounds like a dream come true, as an e-commerce business owner that did add 78,000 and have helped countless other sellers, I can tell you without a doubt that it really is a dream come true, because it is very possible. So if your cost per units are 100% accurate and up to date, and you're getting charged the correct fees, you're managing your variable fees and your money efficiently, you're getting reimbursed with no errors, and you know exact what your net profit is on each SKU, and you're maxed out on order velocity. If you answered no, you're in the right place, and if you answered yes, you're a rock star. But if you answered yes or no, I can pretty much guarantee you that we can improve your margins with the system we created. So just an example, the worst we've ever done is only to recover 0.83% of a client's margins, which still was about 15,000 in profit, and it increased their business valuation by 55,000. So that was an 18x on what they received on their investment. So this was before and this was after. So you can see the difference of 0.83%. It's about 15,000. And the absolute best we've done so far, though, this was a pretty cool story, was 12%, which added an extra $277,000 in profit, which increased their valuation by $725,000, and it was a 242x on the investment on that work we did. Now I can tell you the costs, the way that they were doing their landed costs and the way it was showing up on the P&L was not great. It should not be done that way. So we were able to go in and completely, you know, recategorize a lot of the expenses, and we were able to reflect the changes on the P&L. So you can see where these changes went down from 28 to almost 19%. So that's a huge difference. So, you know, who wants decreased cost per units, increased return on investments, and ultimately increased profit margins? So now, what's the value in this? Now, value is always a tricky thing. Like, how do you place a hypothetical value on a potential? Well, technically, say the value in my business when I sold it was 275,000, and the value for Chris was 55,000 because that was the guy that we added 0.83% back, and the value for Josh was 775,000. That was the guy we just spoke about, added 12% back. Like, those are the values that added, the value that was added back into their accounts. So let's pause for a moment and let me ask you this one question. If your business was making more profit with predictable profit margins, what would that value be for you? So think about it this way. What if you could reduce your costs by just say 50 cents, right? It doesn't seem like a lot, but say on 5,000 orders a month, that's 30,000 a year. On 10,000 orders, that's 60,000. And on 20,000 orders, that's $120,000. And to put it into perspective and take it a little bit further, once we applied an exit multiple of say 3.5% on those, so that 30,000 all of it turns into 105,000. That 60,000 turns into 210,000, and that 120 turns into 420,000. So you get the idea. So these little numbers make a big, big difference. So as sellers, we are leaving so much money on the table. So here's what I want to do next. I want to give you $500 in free reimbursements, and also learn about how we can start maxing out profit margins even more. So after evaluating over 100 accounts, we know with 100% certainty that understanding costs is a precursor to increased profits. So here's what I want you to do. The next step is you can head over to this web page. You can scan that. You can claim the $500 in free reimbursements, save on FBA fees. We've actually teamed up with seller investigators on this as well. So our ultimate goal is we want to isolate those cost of goods sold, whether it's fees and per unit costs. At the same time, once you've added your email there, we'll register you for our Max Out Profit Masterclass, which is coming soon. I'm not too sure if anyone knows that Amazon South Africa is launching this quarter or the beginning of next quarter, which is going to be pretty awesome. I'm actually South African, so I'm super excited that Amazon's going there, and we'll be doing a masterclass to help South Africans get ready to sell on Amazon. So this is really a course on how to search, source, and ship and sell products profitably. I know a lot of you are selling on Amazon already, so our main goal here is supply negotiations, how to get your suppliers to give you money back or reduce your unit costs, how to find shippers, to get better quotes, to get your inbound shipments down, and then ultimately how to sell products profitably, kind of like what we just discussed today, making sure that you're holding Amazon accountable for the fees, making sure you're getting as much money back as possible to add to that bottom line. And then also, I'm actually going to be making the tool that I've created public as well, so that you'll be able to kind of use the tool that I created to help make everything that we just discussed possible as well. So here's the link to the masterclass. You can click that, and that's the link there as well. And then just to kind of run you through what to do next is once you've clicked through there, you can just head over to the site. You can kind of play around with the sliders, kind of what your revenue is and how much potentially you could be missing out on. All you got to do to claim this is just enter your email here, and I'll send you the code. Once you got the code, head over to this site here. Just make sure that you put the coupon code here. Don't forget to put that. That will give you the $500. And you'll also be on the waitlist when we have this masterclass, and I will let you know how to get access to the software as well. And then if you're interested as well, you can also go to the website, which is just sellervue.com. If you're interested in a free profit recovery strategy, you can just head over to the top link here. Let's talk, and it will just take you to a quick type form questionnaire. and we can go through a profitability audit as well. And then we can, review your results and see, where you might be missing out on profit, or if there's anything that we can actually help you with. So yeah, so all you got to do is just head over to the site, enter your details, grab your $500, get on the wait list, and that's it.
Amazing. Thank you, Mark.
Sure, you're welcome.
So I think we're covering a lot of really important aspects here. Like at first we covered creatives, now we're covering optimization, and next we're going to be covering PPC, which is really important to what you spoke about. It's really important to optimize before you start scaling.
Yeah, I mean, too often we find, Amazon's like, it's not like it was in the, like back in the day, it's like the Wild West, you put up a product, you make your money, and now it's turned into a real business. And I think like we need to really pay attention to our numbers so that we can take that money and invest it into PPC strategies that's going to grow and scale your business in the right direction.
Definitely. And speaking of PPC, Neha is going to be covering PPC from Atom 11. Well, Neha from Atom 11 is going to be covering PPC. I said that backwards.
That's perfectly fine. I think I think I just came in a little early before you actually announced. So sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. Thank you again, Mark. Really appreciate it. I will, if anybody wants the slides, could you send these over so I could provide access to anybody that would want to review these?
Yeah. I'll send them over now.
Thank you so much.
All right, cheers. You're welcome. Thanks, everyone.
That was awesome. Mark, I learned so much from your talk today. And I think a lot of what I'm going to be talking about is going to be an extension of what you just said. So really, thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Looking forward to yours. Ciao.
Dylan.
Welcome.
Lovely.
See ya.
Hey everyone, very quick introduction. I am Neha Bhutcher. I am the CEO of Atom 11. Prior to Atom 11, I was a senior product manager at Amazon Advertising, which means that I not only come with a lot of experience or domain expertise in, running Amazon Advertising, but also from the algorithms of how Amazon Advertising was built and how it is supposed to be used by sellers and agencies so that they can actually get the most out of it. In today's conversation, I'm actually going to give you very simple hacks that you can use to improve your ACoS by 5% straight away with simple audit hacks. So without further ado, let's just get started. Now, a lot of things have actually changed when it comes to how Amazon advertising used to function in 2017 when we had just started to what it is right now. In 2017, there were just a couple of campaign types, no placement controls, no bidding adjustments. The only controls that you could do really was bids and budgets. There's nothing that you could do in terms of how you were reaching out to a customer through videos or through your custom images or brand stores. Nothing was there. Like literally all you could do was just run an ad and then just pray to God that your advertising is giving you some results. Now in 2024, things have drastically changed. You have 4 different campaign types. Plus, within those four different campaign types, you have 2 sub-campaign types. For example, sponsored brands has sponsored brands and sponsored brand video, and then 3 different types of sponsored display. There are 4 different placement types, so many different controls. There is rule-based controls, time-based controls, and then over and above all of that, you have videos, custom images, brand stores, all of these that you could use to, reach out to the customers in the best possible way. So just too much that you have, on your plate right now. Now, performance was never not a problem, right? So I remember in 2017 when we used to talk to sellers and agencies, all we used to hear was, hey, it's so difficult to maintain ACoS because of lack of controls. We can't control placements, we can't control the time of day, just like really nothing. All we can do is increase or decrease bids. And no one really acknowledged that 2017 was the time when CPCs were low, and there wasn't a lot of competition on Amazon. But then now in 2024, you have all the controls you need, but still now there's just market playing its game, right? So there's just too much competition. There are too many controls, which sometimes are also confusing. Too many variables that you need to think about when it comes to advertising. So just too much happening, and so we're still stuck in the same problem, which is how do we improve your performance? Now, I think in the previous conversation, the reason I said that, my, this webinar is going to be very, very, like the theme is going to be very similar to what Mark mentioned. If you were to compare the two, one of the things that, what he mentioned was that you get too consumed in the little details that you forget to zoom out. In the rut of improving so many different things, you forget to just take a step back and figure out where can you actually make improvements. And I'm going to just continue that same theme that Mark set out. In the rut of optimizing all these different variables that Amazon has given you in terms of advertising, we get too much consumed in the finer details and we lose the big picture. So in today's conversation, I'm going to tell you how to zoom out and figure out what are these opportunities on your advertising that you could use and actually optimize your ads better. Now, in my strategy, I actually have 10 different things that you should be looking at on a weekly and monthly basis so that you can actually improve your advertising. Let me start with point number 1. It's basically on a weekly basis, you need to figure out 5 things. 1, what is your spend and performance profile of the products that you're advertising? I'll come to it very, very soon. But one of the reasons of, which are the products that you're advertising is one thing that most people miss out on when it comes to advertising. Again, something that I'm going to latch on to what Mark said, right? Are you advertising products that are giving you maximum bang for the buck? So just making sure that you are on top of, which products are you spending the most on and which are you spending less on. The next one, which is the most common, and I think most people already do, is auditing the spend and performance profile of different campaign types. How much are you spending on sponsored product versus sponsored brand, and what is the performance on each one of those? The third and the fourth, they'll actually come hand in hand, is the spend and performance profile of the target type. So there are multiple target types, your broad match, phrase match, auto targeting, product targeting, category targeting. A lot of times you figure out when you're comparing spends and performance profiles of these targets, you figure out what is actually draining most of your money and not giving you the returns. And that's when you can actually start optimizing that. And then on the same lines, figuring out the spend and performance profiles of your search terms. There are different kind of search terms, branded search terms, competition search terms, so on and so forth. So how much is each one of them actually giving back to you? And the last one, again, a very underutilized and overlooked spend and performance profile is that of the placement type. So how sponsored products has multiple placement types, which placement types is working the best for you in terms of ROI or ACOS. So let's first look at these 5, and then we'll move on to part 2 of the zoom out strategy, which is what are the kind of things that you need to audit on a monthly basis. So let me move on to this one. Now, this is a very interesting case study that I've found, something that I see consistently in every single account that I audit. This is basically auditing your spend percentage for your product catalog. How much are you spending on different bands of product? So first, let me take a step back and tell you what is a product band. This is a very Amazon lingo. It basically tells you the band A, for example, is the top selling ASINs. These are ASINs that contribute to top 50% of your sales. Band B is ASINs which are middle 30% of the sales, and band C is the bottom 20%. Now, this actually follows the 80-20 rule. If you see, band A and band B is basically just top 80%. The reason we break it down is so that you can actually focus a lot more on band A, and then you can come down from there. Now, if you see just the ACOS, the yellow bars are actually the ACOS bars, and the blue ones are percentage spends. If you see the ACOS bars, you will see that band A ACOS has the lowest ACOS. Band B has higher, and band C has the highest ACOS when it comes to a comparison of how different bands behave. 95% of the time, the ACOS between band A, band B, and band C usually follows the same trend. The only time it will not follow the same trend, which is band A having the lowest ACOS and band C the highest, the only time it will not follow this trend is when you have such a big catalog and your top selling SKUs are high AOV, which means they will convert lower. So, I mean, that's a very specific case, but 95% of the time, your ACOS on band A ASINs or the top selling ASINs will be the lowest. And if that is ever the case, then ideally your spends should be going down with higher the band. So if band A is lowest ACOS, it should have the highest spend, because that will not only help you maintain your ACOS, also actually increase your total sales, right? So that, and then it should continue to reduce. But what you see here is that this person actually has a very similar distribution of spends in band A, band B, and band C. So what do we learn out of this, right? Let me just show you a comparison of how different accounts, which have a different product spend distribution, they what is their ACOS at the end of the day. So this is the first account, which we just saw in the previous slide. Here you see that, the spend is uniformly distributed. The total ACOS, or not the total ACOS, sorry, the average ACOS or the overall account ACOS of this account is 21%. Now, let me show you case number 2. This is what I was talking about, which could be the ideal spend profile of an account. So highest spend on band A, followed by band B, and then followed by band C. And of course, like I told you, the lowest ACOS was band A, followed by band B, followed by band C. The overall ACOS of this account is 14%. So just by changing the product SKU of what you are advertising can not only just increase your total sales, because of course top selling ASINs are going to sell more if you advertise them more. It's going to improve your ACOS. And I think, again, just like Mark said, it's going to also improve your profitability. So make sure that you are auditing this on a weekly basis as to how you are, what is your spend profile. Now, on Atom 11, we actually show you this view when you sign in on the app for your brands, for your catalog. But if you are not using Atom 11, then basically we're going to be launching a free tool on our website very soon, in about a week or so. Just stay tuned for that, and maybe I can even send you guys a link, once it's launched. You can always just plug in your information and it will drop this graph for you, so that you can make these checks and audits on a weekly basis. Cool. I'm going to move on to oh, sorry, just one last thing before I move on. So I think what we try to do at Atom 11 is that we don't want to stop at just showing you the data. We want to include actionability within it. So I think what happens is when you click on this expand button, we actually tell you that, okay, these are the ASINs in each of the bands. And you can click on let's say you click on 8, you want to look at how you can reduce the spends on your bottom selling ASINs, we will actually take you to all of those 8 ASINs and what are the campaigns associated with those, and you can see which ones you want to pause or reduce budgets for. So that becomes really easy to actually action and move around or divert your spends from a bottom selling ASIN to a top selling one. Cool. I'll move on to the second audit, which is campaign type. And I'll try to move faster because I think the first thing was super, super important and something that not a lot of people actually measure on a weekly basis. But I think the next few ones are going to be fast. So let me talk about campaign type. This is something that you probably already do. You look at what is your spend share on each of the different campaign types. Now, if you are already, like I think normally the rule of thumb says that, if you are ACOS focused, you spend 70% of your budgets on sponsored products. And if you're visibility focused, then you spend about 45% of your budgets on sponsored products and the rest on more visibility products like sponsored brand and sponsored display. But if you're doing this audit on a weekly basis, you no longer have to rely on, a rule of thumb. You can just expand and you can figure out, what is the performance after the spend profile, what is the performance profile of each of these campaign types, and then whatever you want to change. So, discover, dig deep, and do. So, once you've figured that out, you can make the changes to your campaigns as to which campaign type do you want to focus on more in terms of your objectives. All right, I'm going to come to the third one, which is, the target and the search term types. Now, normally, I'll start with targets first. So there are different types of targets: broad, phrase, exact, product targeting, category targeting, auto targeting, so on. And then, the audience and contextual targeting. So all of these different targeting types, they all have a different objective that they're there to fulfill. Not all objectives could be as per your requirements. So just figuring out what is the spend profile as well as the performance profile for each of these different target types can tell you what to double down on and what to reduce your spends on. I think one of the things that I've found really helpful as a rule of thumb is that broad match is great if you are able to negate very, very often. So if you have automations available that can help you negate your non-performing search terms, go ahead with broads. But of course, your data is going to tell you the right story. And so that's what you need to look at before you, go ahead and use a rule of thumb instead. And then same with search terms, looking at how much you're spending on different branded keywords, branded ASINs, competition keywords, so on and so forth, will tell you how much opportunity are you actually leaving on the table, right? Like spending a lot more on branded keywords, more than about 15% means that you might be cannibalizing your sales. Not targeting competition keywords at all will tell you that you are leaving money on the table, right? So so you're not going aggressive enough in terms of, targeting your competition, so on and so forth. So auditing that really tells you where you are leaving money on the table. Okay, again, something that is very, very underappreciated is your spend by placement types. There are different placement types. Again, each placement type has their own objective. Top of search is to help you increase your visibility, your click-through rates, and on the placements on product page, for example, are great to just get a lot of impressions because that's where highest amount of traffic goes. When it comes to Amazon, their CTRs may not be as high, right? So just figuring out which placement is something that's giving you the best returns is super important so that you can actually go and make those changes. Now, placement, however overlooked a parameter it is actually the easiest to even figure out your spend and performance profile on. You can simply just get this information from by creating a pivot out of your bulk sheets, for example. So just start making changes on the bulk sheet itself as to which placement should get the maximum amount of spend percentage when it comes to your Amazon account. Perfect. I'm going to move to the second part of the audit, which is something that, audits that you need to do monthly. They don't need to be done on a weekly basis, or they do not need to be as aggressive. These are things or hygiene checks that you need to do on a monthly basis. So the kind of things that I would talk about here are number of campaigns per product, number of campaign types per product, number of keywords per campaign. And the last two, which is again very overlooked, is the ASINs for which you increased your spends and your sales also increased. And the last one is ASINs for which you increase your spends, but your sales actually tanked. So let's look at these. I'll give you some rule of thumbs around this, because this again is something that you could start with your rule of thumbs and then, use the audits from the weekly audits and, put them in for your, the monthly audit that you're doing. Now, campaigns per product and campaign types per product. So I'll cover this in one single slide. If you had one line like this one, which actually, this is where you list all your top selling ASINs to bottom selling ASINs, with top selling ASINs being on the far left and bottom selling on the far right. Then the distribution that you need to do for campaigns per product is that top selling ASINs need to have all of the campaign types, and they need to have more than 6 campaigns per product. Now, the reason why I say this is because, one, you need to have a limited number of keywords in a specific campaign when it comes to, top selling ASIN campaigns. And also you need to maximize your visibility across lower funnel and upper funnel, because these are the products that will actually make you the maximum buck. The bottom selling ASINs are the ones where you need to spend the lowest. So all you really need is one catch-all campaign, or, maybe just a couple more, but really you need to reduce your spends on these ASINs as much as you can. All right. This brings me to, I think, one of the last audits that we are going to discuss today, which is your ASIN total sales versus the spend differential. This is a high-level sanity check pivot table that we normally make. Basically, it does a comparison of spends and sales between current month and the previous month, and it tells you not only how advertising actually changed the total sales, but also other things like, was there a price differential, and was there a out of stock change during month 1 and month 2. The reason why we add these two parameters is so that you can take out the impact of any of those external factors before you decide to cut down on your advertising spends for a specific ASIN. Because if something was out of stock, then really, we should have done some kind of a retail aware advertising, and I'll talk about that. But it doesn't mean that you need to start cutting down on spends on that specific ASIN. I'm going to take a pause. I think I've talked about a lot of these things. Okay. All right. The last thing, this is one of the things, which is the key number of keywords per campaign. Again, one of the things that you need to make sure on a monthly basis is that you maintain the keywords per campaign to 35 to 40. Now, why I ask you to do this audit at a monthly basis is because you do a lot of keyword harvesting. So everyone who is working on ads knows that they need to figure out the good keywords and then add them to their campaigns. While you're doing your keyword harvesting, normally your number of keywords starts in a campaign, it starts increasing. So one of the things that we actually try to do at Item 11 is that, we give you an option of adding new keywords or the harvested keywords in new campaigns rather than the current campaign. So that actually helps you save a lot of work, in creating campaign, just getting the keywords added to the same campaign, and then, later on optimizing them. So this is again a hack that you could do to ensure that, you're not stuffing or overstuffing your keywords in a specific campaign. Cool. So this is one picture of a complete audit that we provide on Atom 11. This is a single view on your overview dashboard, which means every single time you log in, you're able to look at these parameters and start making decisions basis this data as to, what is it that should be your priority going forward. All right, I'm just going to summarize very quickly. There are two different types of audits that we should be doing on your Amazon account. One are the weekly audits and the monthly audits. Weekly audits will include spend and performance profile on product advertised, on different campaign types, your different target types, search term types, and placement types. While if you're looking at auditing your account monthly, then you're looking at number of campaigns per product, number of campaign types per product, number of keywords per campaign, and then lastly, ASINs, for which your spends increased, but sales went up. And the other ones are ASINs for which your spends increased, but your sales went down. So that's about it in terms of how you can audit your account and then bring down your ACoS by 5-ish% immediately. This is either money left on the table or just opportunities left on the table that you can look at and figure out, your next advertising strategy on. Cool. Lastly, I would love to introduce you all to Atom 11. Just a quick story. When I was at Amazon, I have done sales, advertising sales, as well as, advertising product management, and worked with over 300 sellers and agencies. What I found was that most of the advertising softwares that we see in the market today, they are only doing one thing, which is bid management by performance. So they'll see, which keywords are performing well, and then, they'll increase or decrease the bids. But really, Amazon advertising is just so much more than that. It includes bid management or campaign management because of inventory, pricing, competition. What are you doing when your competition is increasing their pricing, so on and so forth, right? So being retail aware is the strategy that you will need to take up in 2024. It will not only helps you optimize your spends, basically makes you spend less when you're out of stock or low stock, and spend more when your competition has increased their pricing. Not just does that, but actually makes you more sales. So that's what Atom 11 is trying to do, is just breaking the silos between advertising and retail. It helps you audit your accounts, as well as, ensures that you are on top of, the retail aware or the retail signals that can help you better in advertising. Cool. And lastly, I think this is a special offer for all the lovely people here. We are going to give you a 30-day free trial. Normally, we give out a 15-day free trial, a 30-day free trial for everyone who's watching this this webinar right now. Just reach out to me at neha@atom11.co and just put in a subject line post-purchase pro, and we'll get you started. So yeah, that's it from me. Over to you, Dylan.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you so much. And yet again, I think the whole topic that we covered today, from the first presentation all the way to the last one, was optimization, optimizing different parts of your business to make sure at the end of the day you have more money and you scale correctly with your products on Amazon. So thank you so much. That was fantastic. If you do want to use Atom 11, make sure to reach out to her. It's an awesome offer, 30 days instead of 2 weeks. So that gives you a lot more time to review, make sure you love everything before continuing forward. So thank you so much. And lastly, we are going to be uploading this replay to the membership area. Can I get a yes if anybody can see my screen? Looks like it's on the Masterclass page. We will be not only uploading the replay, but every single time we do post a Masterclass, we include the content that any of the presenters had. So if they have slides or anything like that, that's where you can gain access to this. And thank you so much, everybody, for your time, not only the presenters, but everybody in the audience too that spent your time today. I know it's a Wednesday afternoon, and I really appreciate everyone spending their time with us and taking the time to watch the presentations, because everybody that is here, just as Seth said at the start, nobody's paying to be here. We're not paying anyone to be here. Everybody's coming here to share information with all of you. And the whole way around, I appreciate everyone being here. And thank you so much. Everybody have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. And we are going to sign off here. Thank you.